Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome back to Easy Mathematics. Today we want to look at the first topic or first presentation for Form 2, which is the bar chart. We want to look at how to draw a bar chart. Now we have a definition here which says that bar chart is a graphical representation of a frequency distribution table. Underlined word here is graphical. Graphical. So we are coming to represent a frequency distribution table on a graph. That is it. So when we say bar chart, we are just coming to represent a table which is frequency distribution table on a graph sheet. So we have an example here which says that the table below shows the marks obtained by 20 students in a test. So this table, it is telling us the marks obtained by 20 students. So 20 students took a test, and the result, they are saying that 1 mark, 3 of them had 1. 6 of them had 2, 5 of them had 3, and so on and so forth. So when we say frequency, frequency means the number of individuals. So when it comes to the marks here, these are the marks that was scored according to the test. So the highest is 6, or it is over 6. And 3 had 3 had 4, and 2 had 5. So this is the frequency distribution table, and we have been asked to draw a bar chart for the data above. That is, represent this frequency table on a graph with using the bars. So we are going to look at how to draw a bar chart for a frequency distribution table. First of all, to draw a bar chart, we have to know certain things when it comes to the graph concerning bar chart. And with the bar chart, we need a shape which is in a form of an L. So the axis that we are coming to draw here should take the shape of an L. And the axis, we have vertical axis and horizontal axis. The vertical axis is known as the y-axis, and the horizontal is also known as the x-axis. Now somebody will ask, where will I position the vertical axis or the horizontal axis? The position of the vertical and horizontal axis will be determined by the frequency table. When you look at this table, we are having only 6 items, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can position our vertical line either on the first tick line or the second tick line. And on the graph sheet, we can see that we have tick lines and thin lines. We have to know the differences between these tick lines and thin lines on the graph sheet. So the first thing that we are coming to draw is our axis, which are the vertical and the horizontal. So I want to draw my vertical axis on the second thin line. So I want to start from here and extend the line using my instrument, which are the rule, the pencil, and my eraser if in case there is a mistake. Then I will also draw my horizontal axis here. So remember, the shape of this shape is being determined or is determined from the frequency table. Because we have 6 items, we can position our L shape here. Now, after drawing your L shape, we are coming to do demarcations on the vertical axis. Where the vertical and the horizontal line meet, we name the O or origin. Now, try and locate the thick lines on the vertical axis. The thick lines. So the thick lines that you see, we will try to make some demarcations for labeling of the graph nicely this way. Now, when you come to the frequency table, you can see we have max and we have here frequency. Remember, the frequency means number of individuals. So, the max is being recorded on the horizontal axis. So, the horizontal axis takes the max, and the vertical axis takes the frequency. So we have to write it down nicely. Now, after writing the frequency, come to the frequency column, which is this one, and try and identify the least value and the highest value. When you look at the frequency table, the least value is 1 and the highest value is 6. So it means I can do the arrangement in 1 unit. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. And the scale is going to be 2 centimeters to 1 unit. So on the thick lines, starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can choose to extend it or leave it at 6 because it is up to 6. Now that we are done with the labeling and writing of the names here, you will come to the marks. And when you look at the marks, the first value there is 1. So that means we are coming to draw our bars. Before we draw our bar, we have to leave a space from the vertical line before we start. So we want to leave 1 centimeter from here to this thin line. From a thick line to a thin line is 1 centimeter. But from a thick line to a thick line is 2 centimeters. So I want to leave 1 centimeter and start my bar here. Now the space that we are going to leave between the vertical axis and the first bar should be the same spaces between each of the bars. So I want to begin here, and the first mark here is 1. So if the first mark here is 1, we are going to link this mark to its corresponding frequency, which is 3. So on the graph sheet, you take your ruler and you rule on this thin line up to 3 where you have here. So this line represents or stands for 3. So we'll be here, then we'll rule the line to 3 nicely. Now, because I'm having only 6 items, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I can choose to make the length or the breadth of the bar 2 centimeters. That is from here to here, because the bars are only 6. And of course, I will get 6 on this graph sheet. Then what do? You also bring this one down this way. And if you write, since the marks are here, we are going to write 1, which shows that 1 mark, 3 students had 1 mark. Then we move to the next one, which is 2. Now, before we draw the next bar, we have to consider the space we left here, 1 centimeter. Before we draw the next bar, we have to also leave another 1 centimeter from this bar to the new one. So that means we are going to begin our next bar here, and that one is 6. So we rule from here up to 6, and this is where the 6 is. Also, you have to make sure that the spaces or the breadth of the bars are also the same. So if this bar is 2 centimeters, then I have to also make sure that the bar for this table, the breadth for this bar is also 2 centimeters. Then we close this one nicely. Then we record here 2. We are moving on to the next bar. Don't forget, we left space from the vertical axis to the first bar, and we also left a space. So we are going to leave that same space, which is 1 centimeter, and we'll move to the next bar. And the next bar, we are having 5 as the frequency. So we are going to move from this place to the 5th line on our frequency. And we have the same 2 centimeters for the bar. Then we close it. Then we have here 3. Then you move to the next one, which is 4. We leave the same space, but the 4, which is the mark, is having a frequency of 3. So we rule to this place. The same 2 centimeters for the bar. We close it. Then we also close this one. And this one is 4. The same space, we go to 5. And the 5 is 2. We go there. We close the bar. The same space and the same sizes. We close this one. Then we also leave the same 1 centimeter before we draw our last bar, which is the 6th bar, and that one is 1. So we are going to rule from the horizontal line to the 6th, which is 1 as its frequency, and it's going to end here. And this is how we draw a bar chart. Now, after drawing the bar chart, we have to title the bar chart, the chart that we've drawn. So we can write and say a bar chart showing the scores or showing the marks obtained by 20 students. We can give it a title, then we underline it nicely on the graph sheet. And this is how we draw a bar chart. Sometimes, to make our work more presentable, we can try to draw lines in the bars so that the examiner will identify and see the bars we have drawn. It is advisable to use rule, but for the sake of time, that is why we are using freehand sketch. So to complete it, we do it this way to make the work very neat and nice. And finally, we have this. And this is how we draw a bar chart. Now, after drawing the bar chart, we can be asked to answer certain questions. So it says that B, how many students failed if the pass mark is 4? So you come to the table. These are the marks. It says how many students failed if the pass mark is 4. So all those who had 4 and above have passed. So if the pass mark is 4, how many students failed? To calculate for this, we are going to say that we have A. And A, we are going to say refer to graph. That means refer to graph for the answer. Then we come to B. B says how many students failed if the pass mark is 4. So if the pass mark is 4, it means all the students here have failed. Those who had 3, 2, 1, they failed. So if you want to know the number of students who failed, then we are going to add the frequencies of 1, 2, and 3, which are 3 plus 6 plus 5. And if you put all this together, we are going to get 14. So we are going to say, therefore, 14 students failed. And this is the answer for number B. When you come to C, C is saying that what is the probability of a student scoring I 3 marks? We have been asked to find probability. Now, since we are new in Form 2, probability will be quite a new word for us. But probability itself is a topic on its own to be taught as we move on. So when we say probability, probability is being calculated as the number of events over number of sample space. The number of events here is what the question is asking us to do. And the sample space is the total number of individuals or items. So what are we to find the probability? The probability of scoring 3. So you come to the table of scoring 3 marks, there are 5. So we are going to write 5 over the sample space. What is the sample space? The total number of students. And we were told that this shows the marks obtained by 20 students. So the total number of sample space is 20. Now we can do some simplifications here. So we simplify by saying that 5 will go into each of 1 and 5 will go into 24 times. So the probability of scoring 3 marks is 1 over 4. Then we have the second question, which says that the probability of scoring between 2 and 5. So between 2 and 5, what do we have there? We have 4 and 3. So we are going to link them to their corresponding frequencies. We are not going to use the marks, but we are going to use the frequency. So we are going to say probability is equal to number of event over number of sample space. And what is the event? The events are between 2 and 5. We have 3. So you are going to put 2, 3 and 4 together, which are the frequencies 5 plus 3 over sample space total, which is 20. And this is going to give us 8 over 20. It is possible for us to simplify. So we simplify by saying that 2 will go into 8 4 times, and 2 will go into 20 10 times. Again, we can simplify these two with the same 2 as a value. 2 into 4, 2 times. 2 into 10, 5 times. And this is equal to 2 out of 5. Out of this same question, we can be also asked to find the mode and median. And for mode and median, we've talked about it in our previous videos. Let's look at the example 2 on this one. But before that, this is how we do or answer questions based on graph and on bar chart. This could be or can be a complete set of questions. Do it correct and score 15 out of 15. So for the probability, this is how it is being done. Let's look at example 2. Example 2 here says that the table below shows the ages of some students in a class. So this table shows the ages of students in a class. So we have here ages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Then we have number of students. So the number of students that are 1 year is 8. 2 years, they are 4. 3 years are 5. And so this is the frequency. Now, if you look at the questions here, we have to draw a bar chart for the information. Now, the difference between this type of question and the first one is that when you look at this one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 items. And we will be wrong if we try to draw our L shape using the second vertical line. So therefore, what do we have to do? We are going to use the first vertical line. So the first thing to do, because I'm to draw a bar chart, I'll first draw my vertical axis, which is also known as the y axis. Now, because the items are 10, I have to use the first thick line. The first thick line as my vertical axis. Then also, we can choose to do the horizontal line here, or we can choose to bring it here, because we can get the highest value there if possible. But we would like to bring the bar also here. Somebody will say, since I don't want any problem, I'll do all my bars on my axis on the first thick lines. It's not bad, but sometimes to make our work very neat, we try to consider these things. Now, from the first example that we did, we were told that the ones here takes the horizontal axis always, and the number of students, which is also the frequency, takes the vertical axis. So what we are going to do is that we are going to write the name we have here, which is ages on this axis. Then we have here frequency for the vertical axis. Now, when you look at the number of students, the least value is 1 and the highest is 10. So it means we are going to do the arrangement in 2 centimeters, or a scale of 2 centimeters to 1 unit. So where the vertical and the horizontal meet, we are going to name them 0. And we do the labeling on the thick lines. So this is going to be 1. We have 2 here. We have 3 here. We have 4 here. We have 5 here. We have 6 here. We have 7. We have 8. We have 9. And finally, we have 10. Since I can get my least and my highest, I'm okay with the labeling. Now it is time for us to draw the bars. Because the values here are 10 in number, we are 1 up to 10. We don't have to extend the breadth or the width of the bars. So the first edge is 1. So what do I have to do? You come to your graph. Always, if it is a bar chart, we have to leave a line or a space between the axis and the first bar. And the first space we are going to leave runs through all. So what we are going to do is that we are going to position our ruler on the first thin line, which is this one. Then we will rule our line to the corresponding value for 1, and this is 8. So we'll rule our line to 8. Now, because they are 10 in number, we cannot extend the first bar to this place, else we will not be able to get all the bars. So we are going to use only 1 centimeter. And on the graph, from this place to this place is 1 centimeter. So we are going to use 1 centimeter so that we will be able to draw all the 10 bars. So the first edge is 1 here. So we write it down, 1. Then you leave the same space to the next one, which is 2. And it is having a frequency of 4. So we link from this place to 4. And it is this one. We close it and close this one too. Remember, since we've used 1 centimeter for the first bar, all the bars should be 1 centimeter. And the space that we've left here should be the same spaces between each of the bars. So this is 2. Then we go to the next one, 3, having a frequency of 5. We leave the same space to move to the next one. we have this one also. We close it. Then we also close this one. Then we have 3 here. Then we go to 4, the same space. 4 is 6, so we rule from here to 6. We go this way. We come here. We extend this one to this place. We close this one, and this is 4. Then you go to the 5th one. The 5th one is 10. So you have to rule the line from the horizontal axis to 10. You rule from here also to 10. Please be mindful when you are ruling your line. It is wrong when we see double lines. So if your lines are double, you quickly clean it and redraw the line again, because the examiners don't want to see double lines. So we use only one line, and this is 5. We move to the 6th one. The 6th one is 1. Its corresponding to its frequency is 1. So 1. Then we close this one. We record 6. Then we have the 7th one is 2. So you move to the next. You move here. You close. Then we have 7. We move to the 8th one. The 8th is 3. So we move to the 3rd. We move to this one. Then we close it. And this is 8. And we move to the next one, which is 9. 9 is 1. So it's going to be here. And this is going to be here. Then we close it. This is 9. And the last one, which is 10, we'll take this portion nicely. And this is how we draw the bar chart if the values are more or they are 10 in number. So after drawing this one, you just do your demarcations to also make the graph visible. So for the sake of time, we will not do all and move on to the rest. But if for exam purpose, you have to do it nicely to be presented for the examiner to mark. So after drawing, we have to write a title. So what are we going to say? We can say a bar chart showing the ages of students. The bar chart showing the ages of students. You write it there nicely, then we underline. Sometimes this one, it attracts a little scores because it shows that you know what you are doing. Just as we said, after drawing the bar chart, we can be asked certain questions based on the frequency table. You can be asked to find the mode, the mean, and the median. For these three, which is the 3 M's, we've talked about it in our previous videos. So we have here solution. A says draw a bar chart for the information, and this is the A. So we are going to say refer to graph. Then we go to B. B says that find I, the total number of students in the class. So I, the total number of students in the class. And these are the number of students. 8, 4, 5, 6, 10, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1. So to know the total, what do? We put them together. So we are going to say 8 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 10 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 1. If you are me, where you have problem in adding all these values, just try and put two values in a bracket to make the calculation very, very easy. So we go by saying 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 5 plus 6 is 11, plus 10 plus 1 is 11, plus 2 plus 3 is 5. Then 1 plus 1 is 2. Again, let's put 2 in a bracket. So we want to put this and this in a bracket, this and this also in a bracket. 12 plus 11 will give us 23. Plus 11 plus 5 will give us 16. Then we have here plus 2. So we can also choose to put 2 in a bracket. So let's put the first 2 in a bracket. And 23 plus 16 will give us 39. 23 plus 16 will give us 39 plus 2. This is equal to 41. 41. So the total after adding everything, we had 41. So we are going to say, therefore, the total number of students are 41 students, or is 41. 41 students. And this is the answer for the first one. Now let's go to II. II is asking, find the number of students who are above 5 years. The number of students above 5 years. So these are the ages. 5. So those who are above 5 years are 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you come to the number of students. Then you put them together. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 1. So these are the students above 5 years. So you put them together. So also 2 in a bracket. This will give us 3. Plus 3 plus 1 is 4 plus 1. 3 plus 4 is 7. Plus this is giving us 8. So we will say, therefore, 8 students are above 5 years. And this is the answer for the second one for B. Then we have C. What is the probability? So immediately you